I stopped trying to fix my emotions. I just now sit with them, feel them, look at them, and just try to understand them and let it just flow through my body. No forcing or anything, just presence.
Discipline your thoughts. Stop thinking too much. Don't go into the past. Don't go into the future. Be in the present. Why? Because only then it's possible that the mind is free, the capacity is free, and now you completely immerse into whatever you are doing.
There's only one thing in the whole universe over which you have complete control, and that is your thoughts. If you wish to change any of the conditions of your life, you have to change the thoughts that precede those conditions. You have to change what is going on in your mind. Whatever you believe with feeling, and this is the key, with feeling, and the more emotion you put into a belief, becomes your reality. If you believe something that is positive or believe something that is negative, or as Henry Ford said, if you believe you can do a thing or if you believe you cannot, you are right. Most of the limitations we have do not exist in reality. They exist only in your own mind. We have a deep down desire inside of us to remain consistent. So we're always trying to view our world, rationalize our world, interpret our world so that it is consistent with what we have already decided to believe. However, if we begin to change our beliefs, we begin to change our reality.
We always have another way of looking at life. You know, many people get up in the morning, and if it's raining, they look out the window and say, "Oh, what a lousy day." Well, it isn't a lousy day, it's a wet day. But if we choose to believe it's a lousy day, then that's what we'll have, because we will create it. If we choose to believe it's a wet day, then we'll put on the appropriate clothing and do what we do on rainy days. There is no good or bad, there is no right or wrong, except that we make it so. And you know, every culture on this planet has different rules about those things. It's what we believe that makes things right or wrong, or good or bad. And again, it's the old thing, what we give out, we get back, and usually in double.
Trade your expectations for appreciation, and in that moment, your whole life will change. I'm going to say it again. Trade your expectations for appreciation, and your whole life will change in that moment. See, once it's an expectation, you're pissed when it's not there. But when it's appreciation of what's ever there, you have a different life. That doesn't mean you have to settle for it. You can still change things if you don't like them, but you appreciate what is instead of being angry about what isn't. How many follow this? Say I. And by the way, is there always something you could appreciate? Yes or no? Or respect? Or be grateful for? And by the way, that is the antidote to all your pain. By the way, what if you were God? What if you're God and you come here to the earth, to the planet you created, and you meet your creations? And you walk up to your creation and you say, "Oh, creation, what do you think of this earth thing I've created for you?" And Inishir says, "Well, God, I'm glad you showed up. I got a bone to pick with you." I'm like, why, if you're God, why wouldn't you make the temperature nice all the time? Why do you have to make it so damn hot in the summer and so cold in the winter? Plus, you made all these irritating people who get in my way. You even built these little red ants. They're about this size. They bite my ass and it hurts. Why the hell did you do that? Now, if you're God and you create this beautiful place and you go to your creation and all they do is bitch and complain, how's that going to feel to you? You gonna want to hang out with this person? Let's say you go to another one of your creations. You go, "Hey, I'm God, I'm your God. Just showed up to say hi, want to know how you're doing here. What you think of this earth thing?" And the person says, "Oh my God, God, I can't believe it's you. Oh, I've wanted to share with you how grateful I am for this planet, for this world you've created for us. It's so amazing. It's always changing. It's never the same. It's hot, it's cold. There's always variety. I'm never bored. And you made these crazy people that challenge me to grow. You made these little red ants. They're 1/1,000,000th my size. They bite my ass. They're so courageous. It's amazing." Now, if you're God, who are you going to hang out with, the first person or the second person? So some people say there is no God. I say, no, there's God. He just doesn't want to spend any time with you because all you do is bitch and complain.
Do you know the Course in Miracles says that all illness comes from a state of non-forgiveness, and that whenever we are ill, we need to look around to see who it is we need to forgive. Now, this does not necessarily mean condoning poor behavior, because I agree there are many people who behave poorly. Forgiving means to release our stuff on it and let ourselves be free and the other person be free. We understand that the people who mistreated us are also in pain, that they are doing the best they can, coming from the knowledge and awareness and understanding that they have at that particular point in time and space. Every thought we think and every word we speak is being responded to by the universal energy. It's amazing how the universe begins to help us. It brings us what we need.
There's 4 big habits that the happiest people have that they engage in every day. This is sort of the happiness pension plan. These are the deposits that you put in every day. These are the things to pay attention to. Number 1, all of the happiest people who have the highest levels of enjoyment, satisfaction, and meaning, which are the macronutrients of happiness, they're paying attention every day to their faith or philosophical life, which is religious or not, but is transcending themselves and standing in awe of something bigger. The second is their family life. They're taking their family life seriously. The third is that they're taking their friendships seriously. And that's super hard for people in business, especially the higher you go in management, the fewer real friends you have and the more deal friends that you have. And deal friends don't count. They're good, but that's not the nutrient that I'm talking about. And last but not least is dedicating your work to earning your success and serving other people. It's faith, family, friends, and work that serves.
You've already achieved goals you said would make you happy. You've already achieved goals you said would make you happy. How can you presume that your happiness sits on the next side of the next set of goals, given that right now you are on the other side of your last set of goals?
So is the key to learn happiness while you're succeeding?
It has to be.
When I say a spiritual solution to every problem, I'd like everybody in the audience to just do me a favor, if you will. I'd like you to just point to yourself. Everybody, just for 1 second, just point to yourself. And just look around and just notice how people are. And notice that nobody's doing this. Not one person in the room is doing this. Why is that? Because who we are is not here. Who we are is what? Here. And where have you all pointed to? You pointed to your heart. Shakespeare again put it this way. He said, "Go to thy bosom, knock there, and ask your heart what it doth know, what it doth know." Listening to your heart is what, to me, represents the approach to a spiritual solution to every problem.
One day, you'll realize you've already lived through some of the best days of your life, and you didn't even know it at the time. You were too busy chasing what's next, busy worrying about what's missing, thinking happiness was something you'd arrive at one day, once everything finally made sense. But while you were waiting, you were laughing with people who won't always be around. You were making memories in places you'll one day drive past and feel something you can't explain. You were standing in moments that didn't feel like the good old days till they were gone. That's the thing no one tells you. You rarely recognize happiness when you're standing in it. It feels too ordinary, too small to matter, till it becomes a memory you'd give anything to experience again. But right now, you're still in it. You still have the people, the moments, the chances, the ordinary days you'll one day call some of your favorite. So stop waiting for life to start. You're already living it.
Things don't happen overnight. You have to make the emotional and the personal investment to make your dreams come true.
How bad do you want it? That's all you ever talked about. It's all you ever dreamed about. All you did was wait around, hoping that someone was just going to hand you the keys to the city. No one is just going to hand you over their keys and expect you to drive.
What you are looking for, what you need, is self-discipline. Self-discipline as the very name implies, comes from the self, you. It comes when you make a decision to be disciplined. When you make a decision to be better. When you make a decision to do more and be more.
You can set yourself a goal that you can attain, and there's not going to be much glory in it to begin with. Because if you're not in very good shape, the goal that you could attain tomorrow isn't very glorious. But it's a hell of a lot better than nothing, and it beats the hell out of bitterness, and it's way better than blaming someone else. It's way less dangerous. And you could do it. And what's cool about it, it's one step on a very long journey. And it starts to compound on.
The minute you start thinking, I don't want to do this, the minute that feeling creeps in, that's the time you're having a test. The minute you feel the ache of, I'd rather do something else, I'd rather do anything else than this, that's the test. The minute you train yourself to say, this is my opportunity, is the minute you go from loser to fucking winner. And this is a skill. This is something you practice.
We're all being tested in life. And guess what? This is one test you can't cheat on. We all have our own test. Some of us are obese. Some of us are depressed. Some of us are insecure. Your extra gears get your deal with the life. And the only way to overcome it is for you and you alone to face it. You have to do your best work when you're least motivated. So those days you don't want to do it, guess what you gotta do? You gotta suck the fuck up and do it.
Let your work get your opportunity. Let your work get your praise. Let your work open up doors. Let your work get people paying attention. Let your work get the whole world to notice. Stop thinking. Stop procrastinating. And you gotta work.
Promise yourself you'll listen to it until it makes sense. You'll go for it until you understand it. You'll practice it until you develop the skill. Never give up until, however long that is. Step by step, piece by piece, go for it. Don't miss the chance to grow. And resolve that you'll pay the price until you learn, change, grow, become. It's called a life-changing day. The day you say, enough is enough.
Some of you don't even realize you have unfinished business. You need to go back where you left off with a new perspective. Go back to the gym. Go back to the drawing board. Go back to the business. Go back to the relationship. Go back to the burning building. You have unfinished business. All you got to do is show up with a new game plan and a new perspective.
When you get better, everything will get better for you. And that's where I picked up that phrase, for things to change, you've got to change. You don't have to change the marketplace. You don't have to change the marketing plan. You don't have to change the economy. You don't have to change countries. You don't have to change circumstances out there. All you've got to do is look within and see if you can change yourself for the better. And as you change, things will start to change for you.
You gotta be willing to do what 98% of the people in this world are unwilling to do. You gotta eat differently. You gotta work differently. You gotta think differently. You gotta talk differently. You gotta walk differently. If you want elevation, if you want next level, if you wanna see this thing differently this year, everything you do has to change.
You won't need that rest. Chances are you will realize that the desire to rest was just weakness. It was just the desire to take the path of least resistance, the downhill path, the easy path. And by simply going through the motions, you overcame that path. And you stayed on the righteous path, the disciplined path. You stayed on the war path.
And so if you can just begin to take one step, slowly moving towards your dream, I promise you that thing you want to achieve, it's not going to be nearly as difficult as what you think it is.
It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. You do not have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great.
I want you to focus on what's going to make you better and not make you weak. I want you to focus on moving forward and not moving back. I want you to focus on making your life greater and not making it weaker. I want you to focus on doing something that's going to make other people better. I want you to shine bright. I want you to lift people up. I want you to stay productive. I want you to stay strong. And I want you to keep living the life that you've been given.
If you quit, if you never start climbing, if you never take that first step, you'll never get there, and you'll forever live in regret.
The obstacles to self-discipline might seem like a big load to handle, and they are. Most people never break through any of them, and it reflects in their lives. You yourself might be wondering if it's beyond your reach or capabilities. I'm really capable of breaking through and developing the willpower I need to do what I need to do. As the saying goes, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. When it comes to developing willpower, the most important factor might not be your mental or physical abilities or the range of what you can accomplish. Rather, it may simply be your belief that you can develop willpower. A study by researcher Veronica Job examined university students over a single scholastic term. Job asked the students to evaluate themselves on their ability to maintain willpower over the course of a given task. Whether they need to take a break after a run of tough work, or whether their endurance fueled itself and allowed them to keep going. Across the board, the students who believed that their willpower was unlimited did better in several measures. They regulated their activities better, kept procrastination at bay, got better grades, and were even better at eating right and maintaining physical health. On the other side, students who said they needed to recharge themselves from time to time were especially beset by procrastination, often made poor dietary decisions, and found themselves easily distracted. They even spent more money, theoretically, while they were distracting themselves with online destinations. Jobs results indicated that those students who were convinced of their own abilities and really believed they had more willpower actually did. Their self-messaging turned out to be a crucial element in their superior performance, to the point where it couldn't simply be coincidence. Score another point for the placebo effect. This is great news because it implies that although building willpower is a challenge, a huge part of the solution is simply believing that you can do it. We have exactly as much willpower as we think we do. Building self-discipline is your choice and yours alone. It's all up to you. Nobody and nothing else have as much influence in the attainment of your goals. It doesn't matter how your brain is wired or where you are oriented with regards to time. What overrides those is your belief in yourself. Ultimately, this ends up being a good thing because it places the power in your hands. Whether you can or cannot be disciplined is up to you. For some, this is a freeing thought to determine one's behavior and actions. By producing your own incentive and making self-discipline its own reward, you'll see positive effects unveil themselves on a daily, gradual basis. These benefits include the following, which you can also feel free to factor into your pleasure principle cost. Benefit analysis. Avoiding temptation. The self-disciplined mind knows that fighting temptation is a Herculean task. Even the strongest minded person might feel a tinge of enticement when they're walking past the window of an ice cream shop where there's a huge color display of a towering sundae hanging in the window. Unless you hate ice cream, you'll feel a twinge. But what self-discipline helps you do is avoid the temptation. Pass the shop by without feeling the need to indulge. This is because self-discipline helps you control and direct yourself when there are clashing internal forces at work. Your mind won't focus on the deprivation aspect. It'll concentrate on the good you're producing. More life satisfaction. Those who practice self-discipline frequently report that they're happier than people who don't. This reality flies in the face of the idea that self-discipline means not having any fun. What you're trying to get on the pathway of self-control will be 1,000 times more gratifying than the rewards of an immediate thrill. It's just going to take a little longer. Patience can be frustrating when you live in a society like we do, where instant pleasure is relatively easy to pursue. It can really be hard to walk a line of restraint and control, especially when you have friends who constantly live for the moment. But what you're after is bigger than that. You want to create a more satisfying and contented lifetime. That's something that only self-discipline and continued focus will bring. When it does, it'll be much more meaningful and satisfying than those brief, isolated diversions. You do more of what you want. On a similar note, those who take up a life of self-discipline are often imagined as not doing things. They're not up to date on the current hit TV shows. They're not hanging out with their bar friends on a nightly basis. They're not traveling to Fort Lauderdale on spring break. In some way or another, they're perceived as being left out. But that's only according to other people's concept of fun. In reality, the self-disciplined person is giving themselves more opportunity to do what they actually want to do. This comes about in two ways. First, you have the ability to position yourself for success and do what needs to be done. This leaves time for the interest you want to pursue, and it can even be just a lazy afternoon of television. Second, you have the discipline to do challenging things that you want. You might want to climb a set of mountains or run a marathon. Self-discipline is how you do them. They're doing activities that are rewarding and enriching, and they're doing them because they've disciplined themselves to be able to do them and appreciate them. You gain ultimate freedom. Actually, you're more in the moment. Taking the road to self-discipline is a constant process that frequently requires you to make choices. You need to be fully aware of the decisions that can help you the most. Sometimes opportunities will arise out of nowhere. A chance to talk with someone who's been down your path before and can give you some advice or support, or an activity like yoga that can help you develop more mental stamina and concentration. These opportunities seem to arise for people who are working on self-discipline, but it's not magic. It's because you're more aware and attuned to things that will help you get to where you want to go. The self-disciplined mind isn't shut off. Far from it. It's looking for and recognizing those chances all the time. You're more aware of what's happening around you. You're not missing anything. You're just making a different choice, setting boundaries. Chances are you have at least one or two good friends or relations who will be thrilled to support you in any way they can. But let's face it, there will also be a few of them who will try, knowing or otherwise, and knock you off your path to self-discipline. Self-discipline helps you identify those conflicts before they begin and can make you stand your ground. It can also build your resolve to resist the pleadings and guilt, tripping of others who might not be that understanding of your goal to improve yourself. Knowing yourself. Finally, self-discipline is one of the best ways to find out who you really are and what you really value. In a real world setting, at times our situations can seem so bothersome or troubling that we can't imagine any course other than escape. But in those scenarios, you're not just escaping hardship or the world. You're also escaping yourself. Self-discipline is a means to reject the traits of reaction and retreat. It gives you something to actively work on every day and forces you to make decisions and take actions based on what you really need. Through that process, you will learn more about yourself than you ever have before. You'll see why you made certain decisions in the past, and you'll understand what kind of person you really are.